We're recording. Can I just say really quickly, I want to tell Harimandir that we have two really short 5-minute videos um about how to access the archives and go through jump to whatever place you want to get to, go to the transcript. And I sent step-by-step instructions. Those are posted with it, but I also emailed that to you directly. So you could, for example, watch the video and read the steps one at a time and sort of go through a practice run and then do it on your own with the steps and know where everything is and how to do it. And um, if you want any help, you can just give me a call or a text message and we can make a phone date and we can do it together on the phone.
Okay. I don't know that I can watch the video and follow the directions at the same time. I have to do one or the other, right?
I think you could do both. Like if you wanted, well, you'd said that you wanted to print out the instructions. So
Yeah.
print out the instructions and then
Oh, then I could do it. Sure.
yeah, and then you would have the printout for when you're using
Right.
it.
Right.
But it's not, it's spatial is kind of what I was saying earlier, that to me, and this might just be our two different learning styles, but for me, it's spatial because of the places that you click tend to be on the same places in the screen. So for me, it's an instinctual thing that the place I want to go to is on the bottom of the screen or it's on the top right of the screen.
Right. And
And
it's also different because my computer is my cell phone.
I
And so that's a given. But I'm in the middle of a huge project and it'll be another couple of weeks, probably, maybe even a month before I actually do try to do what you're saying.
will bless. The
Thank you.
resources are there should when you want them.
And one other question, the video that we did last week,
Mhm.
that's not part of the recording, right? Or that's separate?
We have two separate ones. So I have one video of just the 10-minute meditation that's up there, as well as the full recording with the pictures and the meditation in it.
Oh, okay. So if
Ex-
you click on last week's, you get both, but you also separately have the link to the video by itself.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we're ready?
we're ready.
Okay. So, tuning in, inhale and exhale. And breathe. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Atkare name, chikakare name, sakare name, sirgurudeve name. Atkare name, chikakare name, sakare name, sirgurudeve name. Atkare name, chikakare name,
Satguru
sakare name, sirgurudeve name. And breathe. with heart breath. Okay. So do we have the chat?
Yes, we do.
Oh, there we are.
I'll
Oh,
put it again in case not it in case it didn't. So if you need to leave early, please let us know now. First, we'll tune in, and then our message, as we have learned from our cosmic siblings that the dark, cruel killing, torture, control, terrorizing, hate, stealing, lying, have found that our origins are from our own terrible dark energy. Strains are from our own humanity. Would you please learn these answers from Baba Siri Chand? What did that darkness happen from humanity? When did that original darkness begin from humanity? How and when will humanity change and heal to pure light? So we'll do heart pumping for 1 minute, 11 minutes for heart breath. Do we have it?
Yes, but would you also put what you just read on the regular chat so I can read it? Because I can't, it's hard to read it on
It's
on video. I mean, on Zoom.
I sent it to the text message already for you.
I'm looking at it and I haven't seen it. It's not here. So,
Yes, I see it.
okay.
oh, I
But
had to find chat. CHAT.
no, what I'm saying is, can you put it on our regular chat, not the Zoom chat?
I did. I did. It's there.
Okay, well, it's okay. Okay. I thought it was still talking about what we did last week. Okay, the tutorial. I thought it was part of the tutorial. I'm sorry.
I
Okay,
sent
got it. Thank you.
Okay. So now begin meditation. 1 minute for heart pumping, 11 minutes for heart breath. And begin. And now continue with heart breath. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe. So, Aagia Pal, excuse me. Aagia Pal, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This was just lovely. I feel very calm. Baba came closer to me than usual. Usually I feel like I'm at a distance and came closer. Some of what uh I heard was kind of not very connected, but a lot of different bits and pieces and bites and sound bites and such. Um, but one of the most important things is that the darkness and the light are what we might call codependent. So the darkness, so he said that we're all participating in undulations of dark and light. And, and we're in a process of merging, of even like evolving, that all has come. So the dark is in the light and the light is in the dark. And I don't totally understand that, but that's what I heard. And um, so that uh, the dark, so as um, we're born from the darkness and we are evolving into the light. And he reminded me that darkness is actually the absence of all color, and light is the presence of all color. And so as we move, or as I move through life, I'm beginning to recognize that all the different colors, and the song De Colores was just going through my head, and so forth. All the different colors and undulations of light that are, present, and also that are present not just in me, monolithically, just like one after the other, but they're all, again, I can't really explain this, but there's all these swirling vortexes of darkness into light going on simultaneously, and for different events, different for people, for different entities, for nature. There are all these vortexes that are processing, that are moving, and they all have what in common is moving from the light, from the darkness, into the different shades, variations of the light. And humanity we're just one of these vortexes that is shifting and evolving. And the important thing to remember is that we're all in process, all in progress. And reminding me, he says, of the winter, the seasons. And in the winter, everything kind of goes underground into the darkness. And then from there springs the life and the light of life. And so so it was for me really uh a wonderful experience of Baba's expression, of Baba's explanation of darkness coming through and into light. And it's funny because he did not mention, the negative aspects of, which we always say of the dark, it's cruel and um there's, satanic forces and etc. And all he did not talk about that. He did not talk about that at all. And it was a matter of everyone is in process, in progress, and we're all moving in our own way, in our own um, hmm, uh, vortexes of process towards the light. And it's something I've never really thought about like that before. And but I have been very curious, I guess, interested in this relationship between darkness and light, and how the darkness in so many ways is a foundation, is a basis, is a catalyst, is a motivator, is serves as a purpose for us to move into the light. So so he really did not, he pulled me away from looking uh negatively on the dark. And because he also said, moving towards the light, moving into love is strongest, this is what we're moving toward. There is no other, there is nothing else. And the seeds are of this love are of from that which we can't see, which we interpret as darkness. So anyway, so that's what I got from Baba. Yeah, and then it's all about healing, right? And what is healing, really? It's what has he said, as I said, okay, Baba, what do you think is healing? And what it I heard was that what healing is um, becoming more like the light, uh, bringing in more light, accepting light, um, and love. So light and love are synonymous. And so that's what healing is. As we move, and I move more towards light and love, this is the process of my healing, and everybody's healing in that different times and in um different speeds, I guess, at different rates. And so so it what it did is it set me at ease. So I'm not I typically strive, I'm like, oh, I got it. And it was, no, okay, so you're aware, that's the key, right? You paying attention, and you love the light, and you just putting that out there is enough to bend the energy, I guess, or to bring that abundance of light to me. And then as I send that out with heart breath from the light of my heart, and the love of my heart does the same for, I don't know what it does, but my intention is that, everybody who's in process in their own vortexes, and it either it strengthens them. We need a lot of strength now, and it causes them to maybe open their eyes more and see, so that there's more light and less non-light. So, yeah. So that's good for me. Thank you for listening.
Great. Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. So now we have Gian Das Prem.
Hmm. That was a beautiful meditation. Thank you. It's very deep. So yeah, trying to push away the physical for me to, for rising above that with the meditation. And we have these, questions arising through our soul and through Baba Siri Chand, right? And for me, it was like echo my voice through the canyon and just asking like, hello, hello, you know, looking back over the history of humanity for these ways of our origins. There's the depth of the origin. How deep do we go with the depth of the origin? From now that we're here at this point with our science, correlating but not so much coinciding with the history of our known archaeology, that we're through the human, which we are human, but our origins are from darkness, from other places that maybe we didn't have this particular sun, because it's known that we are from other parts of the universe, combining with what's here now for this constant creation, and then the how and when and the when. So for our particular story here, within these last few thousand years, we used the earth in an appreciative way of our natural surroundings. For instance, we went and we tried different ways of eating different types of species of plants and animals to create where we are here today, right? But we also have science within that creation show. For Baba Siri Chand, it's just, and this way of moving with energy is being shown through our movement and through that way of looking from beyond the planet, beyond the other solar systems, beyond this cosmos, to see the movements, to see how far we've moved away. We're coming close to the sun now. We're really close with machines, and then looking into that machine to show us the view of this for the further explanation of our misunderstandings, and coming to truth for that misunderstandings of the powerful truths of how we moved away from a farmer, where the symbol was primarily a woman, and then we came into this way of ownership or coming upon another's domicile and perhaps interrupting that. And for me, it's become simple in the way of the light and the love that's also allowing all of these other things to happen within the earth, that is also allowing us to be here, right? For that seed of creation to come within us, for the light, for the water, especially now, the water and the light, and coming together like a rainbow, right? So we're here within that. There's sort of like the chakras, how they're represented as different colors, and we have the range of colors that we're witnessing. And now we have technology where we're able to witness these, other planets and even inside of our own body, to come to that understanding of some sort of courage. But within that cycle, there became a sort of ownership. And within that ownership, there became fighting. And during the fighting, there was some sort of a thought of rules to come for reasoning. And we're moving along on a planet that is just, it's moving along at this speed, and it's also rotating, and it's going around it as an orbit, right? There's other planets that were involved here. So there's more than just, the simple way of saying how am I acting here? But through all of this and being with these other beings, right? That there's billions of people here now. There's billions of people that have come through the cycle of life as humans. And then there's all of these other cycles of life through all of these other species that are going along, on the earth itself is also going along as its species. And when we come here to this point of this, the explanation of us looking at the human, yeah, that's for me personally, and within the soul of that Baba Siri Chand, that stillness, and coming to that stillness of being where we're just here with our breath and focusing on our breath till the thoughts sort of go away. And that's coming to that depth of knowing can also be a way of, it's a noticing that carries a responsibility within that freedom that can be deafening, and to a point rehabilitating, right back into that way of coming back to that holding of a child, like, and maybe even just feeling that way physically in our being is so important now, for the earth, for the water, for us to be able to share, the way that we're moving with the earth and the water, and the power of us being able to come back in groups without having to be forced through a very small group, and a way of thinking for us to change into that way of freedoms, really going in deep, right? But at the same time, sort of letting go into that surrender of just, wow, like forgetting. I mean, sometimes it can be seriously forgetting, when we don't have any responsibility. We can almost forget, right? But if we forget our responsibility, then that can become something that's really serious in a way. And coming back to that reality of seeing how I've done certain actions myself, and going back and correcting those ways of being, and writing down what I can write down, when if I have these tools for myself, um, I'm going to use them, because the air is supplying all of that freedom that's here for me and that's here for us, and this way of being, and the static that's within that energy is also opening up, outside with the light, in so many ways. We're looking for protection, we're asking for assistance, and when we go into that prayer of the heart, and today it was listening to my heart and noticing, how the rate goes down when we go into that heart breath. It's just a calming and soothing thing, and there is all this other moving energy here with us that we're here with. And yeah, coming into that way of, the assistance, and noticing the way we are here, yeah, for me, and the timing, you know, moving through that way through the seasons and the communications. It's sort of like a tapestry is what I'm, I wrote down a couple of things about the farming, and, the men sitting down, and yeah, I was seeing a man sitting in a rocking chair, doing some weaving, and that sort of that, and the mom was out in the field with the kids planting, and the sort of a love role reversal coming back to that way of, instead of the man with the weapon or for the major statues, maybe we can have, you know, a mom with the kids and the guy in the chair sitting in a relaxing position, just maybe even sleeping. I mean, I can look back and see myself working hard, I'm having to not having to, but started work at a young age, I'm cutting lawns and doing things and riding on the bike and delivering and finding a way for me to work through these ways of, freedom of noticing that choice that I had of these many things that were in front of me. And the way of invention is sort of looking back for me is my connection to the earth and seeing that way of, planting and knowing that the strawberries would come up at a certain time of year. And now, yeah, back to the berries. I'm mentioning the berries again. And yeah, that's a full circle in this planet of appreciation, or orb. So that way that we're spinning and the speed that we're moving is really just, we're such amazing beings here with all of these other beings. And yeah, I think when I go back to, coming into this week, I'll be seeing that a little bit more and noticing the technology of this structure, this body that I'm in and what I'm doing here and during this life and, and noticing through the history of my family and my way through and the stories that have, come to me through my being and how that creates, a way for us to, just to look around and find that appreciation. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Well, good. Well, thank you, dear. Okay. Harimandir.
Okay. Um, as I was saying last week, I am working on a huge local project that has a significant spiritual components. And what has been such a blessing, because it's taken all my time and all my energy 24/7, and it's rare to get, under normal conditions, 8 or 7 or 6 hours sleep. It's more, 4 is more like the norm at the moment. But there is, as an activist within activists, what has been a blessing is not physically not being able to have the time to look at what's happening as the result of the big brutal bill and Gaza and all that, that weights me down. It sucks me in. But I can do something very beautiful and meaningful locally, and that's what I'm doing. And the and have been asking Baba Siri Chand's assistance, and am grateful for it, very. And part of it is good old Yogi Bhajan saying, have patience, wait, let the hand of God come to you. And when I get too frantic about what I need to strive for, and the work I need to do, and can it get done in time? As Aagia Pal said, I have also been given times to sit at ease, and certainly these morning calls are part of that. Where are my glasses? So I am so grateful to you, Aagia Pal, at how do I say it? The speed at which you talk and think, because I love what you're saying, and your pace allows me to write it all down, so it doesn't just disappear up into the ether. And I have, as much as I want to, if it's not written down, I I I I want the recording that I can send to other people, but it's I don't think I've ever, maybe once, tried to do it myself, because I already have the notes. So I'm grateful for that. This is a last time, and this one is a very it is I attend and also teach right after this chair yoga, and the inspiration I get from these are what I can then, when I am teaching, transmit to all the other 80-year-olds in the group, about 18 of us. And so I'm going to have to process this morning, and see what I can share in the half hour once a week that we have. And that is enough. And it's lovely, but it's nothing like teaching Kundalini Yoga for 2.5 hours with all the pieces of it. So that's where I'm headed right after this.
Oh, good. Okay. So, Japa Saraswati, when will you have the text of what was said?
Today, it's immediately available.
Wow. Okay.
It's in fact the wonders of the internet, they are producing it for us right now. So
Wow.
it was just on our screen a minute ago, the live stream, and it is there. So that's wonderful.
Great.
And I just have to ask, because I in that tutorial you sent, how to simply access the written part. Is
Yes.
it easy, or just do I have to go through all the processes to find it?
Well, it's a 5-minute video, and in the 5-minute video, it shows you how to log on or how to get to our YouTube page and then where to find the videos.
Right. What I'm asking is just all I'm asking is it very,
You can do it in under 5 minutes. You can do it in under 5 minutes.
but you, what, where they are appearing are on the, if we click on the, whatever this is, the teletalk, and listen to it, the words will appear at the same time?
Yes, that is available.
No, does it automatically appear when I click on the,
You follow the steps, so you could follow other steps where that wouldn't happen. But if you follow
okay,
the
got
steps
it. I
outlined in
understand.
the video, that will happen. Or
Okay.
you can make that happen. You can make other things happen as well. So
I
that's
want that one thing, and I wanted to find out if it was automatic, but evidently there are choices, so I will figure that one out later. Thank you.
do it in under 5 minutes.
Fine. It's not that easy, but yes, I can. Okay.
Thank you, dear. Okay, Japa Saraswati.
Oh, so Satnam, this morning I was listening to a nun who said that suffering that is not transformed is transmitted. And I wrote it down because it's really important. And that was the whole thing that I got this morning from Baba Siri Chand. I felt this lineage of humanity passing either darkness or light on with our generations of suffering or um, transmutation, transformation. And I loved what Aagia Pal said about undulations because in Sanskrit, you guys probably all know this, is that the word vritti means the undulations of the mind, but they are really like vibrations. They move in vibrations like waves. And part of what Baba showed me was that our spine mirrors those vibrations. So, like, one of the big um, concepts that I got from this meditation was about doing the warm up for spinal flex, doing spinal flex and keeping our spine flexible and working on that spinal flexibility because that central channel, that Shushmana, needs to remain flexible and pliable in order to be, how should I say it? In order to be flexible to change with the times, and that it's when we have these calcifications and these really dense places that they're going to be both in our central channel in our Shushmana as well as in our mind. That's part of what I saw was that they're going to be in both places at once, that they will represent themselves as like, oh, super stubborn in the brain, but then you'll also have that stuck little place in the spine, and that we have to work on being flexible both physically and mentally to be flexible emotionally, and that part of that flexibility is about um, relinquishing that which doesn't serve us. So another wonderful, it was Ram Dass, not Guru Ram Dass, but Ram Dass. I was listening to something he was saying this morning about offering all of our sorrows to the Mother Kali, and that she wants to take them from us, that that's like one of the things that she really wants to do for us. And so I was like meditating on heaping and throwing at the hermitage when they do a puja. They make an offering to the fire, and there's you like it's oftentimes pieces of wood dipped in like an oil, like a coconut oil, to make them go up, but sometimes it's papers, and very often it's grain. They use a mixture of grain that gets offered to the fire in like a little sprinkles. And that's what I saw with Kali. That's what I saw with that grain representing um the schmutz, those densities, those inflexible places to offer it up um in a really loving and devotional ceremony to the tapas of our own inner flame, our own self, that's what will keep our central channel flexible, and also to help us have, I'm feeling smooth waters in our mind, that we're not filled with a lot of heavy undulations. Like I used to feel, oh yeah, so when I was, how do I say it? Like as the times progress, um, the attention span is getting shorter and shorter, and that's part of what's making us less flexible, but also it's important. It's part of uh progressing and changing with the times, that it used to be that people would sit and do, Satya says this, that like the Aquarian sadhana used to be, hours and hours long, and of course it still is, but that was the thing that everybody did. And now that we don't need to do the same intensity of practice to get the results, that part of that, I believe, is our evolution as a people, that we um are now, I want to say, almost a Cliff Notes people, like we have our human brain has figured out how to distill great amounts of knowledge into small amounts of time, and it doesn't serve us to be sitting and ruminating in for hours and hours in the same way that it did, you know, 50, 100 years ago, because the pace of life has changed so much that we need to change and grow and evolve with it. So the attention span is naturally getting shorter. And for me, I find a loss of culture in so many ways. I'm kind of fixated on the sad aspects of that sometimes. Like it feels like part of the darkness. But on the other hand, what we have is an acceleration that does not have the amount of time to sit on those things, that we have to be doing other things, and that it's part of this flexibility for growth. Like one of the images that I saw was about young trees and old trees. So when the saplings come up, they're super flexible, like a baby or like a kitten has a really, really flexible spine, and they just move like like jelly, and if they fall, they bounce right back up. But like an old tree is just so firm, and it doesn't have the same sway and give to it. And that's part of what I saw, is the importance of staying in practice to have that flexibility. And then um this is kind of like a left turn. I don't know how to say it, but it's about like all of the um sexually inappropriate things that were going on with the president and with Epstein and with all of these cover-ups and these things that are being done for distraction, that this is part of the darkness of our human consciousness. That's part of the suffering that was not transmuted, is being transmitted. So those people transmitted their sexual trauma onto other people, and then other people are transmitting their sexual trauma. Like it's a golden chain, but in reverse. like this chain of darkness. And that part of the light of that is the light of awareness, that people are becoming aware of it, that like the whole world is talking about it now, that everybody is becoming aware of these things, and it's becoming I want to say normalized to talk about sexual abuse and other kinds of abuse, that before people used to hide them, and it was very ashamed, and it was very like, we don't acknowledge it. And that part of the evolution of consciousness is now saying, like, yeah, that happened. I own that. And it's part of that bringing of light and of people reclaiming what was formerly a really dark experience, shedding light on it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Um, and this changing of consciousness, that part of it is also, I guess I'm feeling part of it is the quickness of consciousness of not dwelling on it too long, like accepting the healing and then moving beyond it. And then if we have to revisit it, certainly revisiting it, because it's part of our heritage, it's part of our lineage. It's not something that disappears because we move on from it. It's still constantly acknowledging that that thing is there, but we don't have to make it like the whole full identity. Um, and so, and that's part of that flexibility of remaining agile and flexible and willing to, I feel like willing to embrace the new experiences, because I guess that's what's breaking. That's part of what I feel it's breaking, is the inflexibility of the old experience. It can't it can't exist any longer. That sort of, there's an inflexibility from olden times that is that can't sustain in the new times. And oh, you know what? I was also feeling something about the earthquake in Russia, that that's part of the fracturing, that these plate tectonics were are responding to being drilled upon and being built upon, and being like, that this is part of our shifting consciousness. Um, and the same thing with any potential tsunami. I've been praying for the people in Hawaii and all over the world that are now bracing for a tsunami. But in Haiti, they had a political movement that was called Lavalas, which means wash. It means wash them or wash it away, and they treated it like a cleansing flood. And that's part of what I feel about the upcoming times, is that we are ready for a cleansing flood, but it's going to be that water and earth both shaking and moving, that we have to be in a place for receptivity and flexibility to that it won't hurt us, that's the way to not get hurt, is by being flexible. But if we stay inflexible, then it's not going to be the greatest for the people experiencing it.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess that was it.
Great.
Oh,
Well,
wait a minute. There was one more. I wrote it down. Was that from Japji, guilty people will heap all their guiltiness on you. That was about the suffering that's not transmuted is transmitted. Um, is that guilty people will heap all their guiltiness on you, and that's part of that chain of darkness. That's how that chain of darkness perpetuates.
Okay. On chain of what?
Of darkness, instead of like a golden chain, it's the opposite of the golden chain. It's throughout human history, all of the, like, I felt like I was in touch with the origin of the suffering, that it's suffering that's not transformed is transmitted. So there's suffering that we have now whose origin is like tens of thousands of years ago, and that it's suffering that the people then dealt with shame and covering it up and spreading it on to the next person. Like, yeah, and then that's the origin of it. And now it's by it coming to light and by everybody talking about it, normalizing talking about sexual abuse and things that were previously very, very taboo to talk about. Now, normal people online are saying, yeah, I was trafficked by Epstein. Yep, I was too. Like, I'm reading it. I'm reading just women coming up in the comments of these things saying, yeah, me three. And hashtag me too. And it's normalizing talking about this, that it's out in the daylight and that people are no longer as ashamed of it. And that's what's transforming it from darkness to light.
Mm, okay. Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just have one comment if we have time. If we don't, that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
What Japa Saraswati just brought up, the whole thread, the idea of hurt people hurt people. I was just reading this by Pema Chodron, and it's practicing peace in times of war. And so what brought up what she mentioned just now, the whole idea of impermanence and change and flexibility and all. Pema is talking about aggression and how it's called shenpa. If we get hooked, and when we get hooked, then we can spread, then all bets are off, then we spread the aggression. But our work, she says, and this makes so much sense to me with what Japa Saraswati said, and also Baba Siri Chand, is that if we can, when we feel ourselves getting hooked, and then we stop and pause and breathe and inhale and exhale, and in that moment we're able to let go of that shenpa, and we can not just react out in aggressive ways. And she yeah, so you know that everything, like Japa Saraswati said, is shifting and changing. Everything's temporary, and we just have to go with go with the flow. But what she said really brought up that idea of shenpa, that we get hooked very easily, and then aggression, and then we pass on the aggression. It just goes and goes. So the idea is that to recognize our shenpa, recognize how we get hooked when we feel it coming, and it's not easy, but then breathing in and then breathing out, that pause. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aagia Pal. I love that new word for me, Shenpa. I'm gonna look it up, look into it some more.
The book is really good, and I love books that don't have a lot of pages, and this one is a small one, and it's practicing peace in times of war.
I'm writing.
And yeah, by Pema Chodron.
Okay.
I had to get it from England, from London Press, but you might, if you want it, it's accessible closer.
Mhm.
Thank
Good. Okay. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're all moving whatever our time is about our undulation and moving
Mm.
and how to do that.
Mm.
Oh, mhm. Good. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so Japa Saraswati, can you do the song?
Sure. Inhale. May the
A long time sunshine
Shine
on
on
you,
you.
all surround you,
and
and
the
the pure light within
Within
you guide your way
way
on,
God,
guide your way on,
God,
your
your
way
way.
on.
Inhale. Sa. Bless you all. Love you.
love you too. Thanks, Siri Gian.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Love
And
all. Yeah. God bless you all.
enjoy chair yoga.
Thank you.